So I seem to be on a bit of a cancel culture journey today, and I thought I may as well just run with it. There's people that support our journey, some that don't, and some that just so concerned with reputations that it's sort of self-defeating. Yeah, reputations are important, but I think too many people are swayed by a movement. I really do. The one thing we have to recognise is we can be friends with people, we can have business relationships with people, we can have connections to people. That does not necessarily mean that we share absolute views with each other. It doesn't mean we align ourselves with every single thing that person says or that what they believe in, but you have a connection to each other. So the trouble really is when someone says something that's a bit out of character or a bit out of place, maybe someone takes exception to it, they try to alienate them. Someone will try and alienate them and push people away from them because they say if you're aligned with them or if you don't speak up against what they just said, then you're part of the problem. No, that is not what it is. So I actually did a video a while ago and I was talking about cowards. There's a lot of things happening in the UK at least when certain celebrities, should we say, they get called out for something and then there's a huge witch hunt. And I get really annoyed with this because a lot of it is baseless. And when you hear the accusations, it's so minor in the overall scheme of things. It's like no worse than what your neighbour would do, But people round on them, and I'm not for that. And then I recognise that where they had a support in the past, all of a sudden people are quiet about it. So other celebrities are so self-serving, they don't come to their friends' support, as a friend. That's again. You can come to someone's support as a friend. Doesn't mean you necessarily align yourself with the views, So someone might take exception to what someone says, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person's a bad person. It's just that maybe they have an outspoken belief, or they, someone just took exception to them. So like me, I'm a loyal person, I'm not going to be swayed if there's like a load of people don't like someone, and I know that person personally. Why would I let that sway me from what I know of this person? Again, I spoke about it before. A lot of time people take sound bites. They take little moments that someone said. But like I've also said, people are self-serving. They care too much about their reputation, so they distance themselves. But you'll also find those that distance themselves will soon come running back when they can see something they can gain from you. So it's quite funny. I find it sometimes I find things humorous like this. There was someone I met, and I made the point that like sometimes I'm quite outspoken. I'm really looking for people to align with who have strong moral compass, who that aren't weak. You got to be strong and resilient. If you're going to be near me, you have to have some resilience about you. And I said that. I made that clear. Like, I don't expect people to speak up for me because sometimes it's my battle. I don't expect people to like fight my battle with me. If I'm in it, I can cope with it. But you expect some sort of loyalty. If you know me as a person. And if there's ever an issue, then you can come to me first. You don't have to sort of like just take an exception to like these sound bites. But these people, they see, even when there isn't an issue, if they take exception to something you said, like even one little thing, they go as far away as they can. It's like, wow, I thought you were stronger than that. So in my life, I've struggled to find strong, resilient people. But I've got people on the way who are still part of my journey. So that they do exist. And like I said, it's not necessarily about agreeing with everything I say. There might be some things that they are absolutely shocked at, but they never said anything to me about it. But they haven't really gone anywhere either. So it's like almost like they just ignore the fact that I said it. And I think that is it, isn't it? It's like that is it. We're all going to have a perception of life that's not always going to align with each other. I've talked about this with the cancel culture. They want to pigeonhole everybody to sort of like believe this and conform to this, and it's like. That's no different to what the past was. You're just giving it a fancy name. You're just doing this ethnic cleansing. That's what it is. It's like you're just trying to change out all of us to be you. And I'm so against that. It's ridiculous because I'm all about originality. Be yourself. So you can share your views and opinions because that's what starts the conversation. But the whole point really is that there's too many people that sort of go running to the hills, because they're like, oh, God damn, I can't be aligned with this. This is going to be some shitstorm. But then when you ride that wave and you overcome that shitstorm, all of a sudden, whoa, that's a strong character. And then if you started to get any publicity from it, positive, or you got like good reputation, like I said, you would have people come running back. But I find it strange that people don't stand by it and say, look, because that's all it takes, you know. Even like I said, in the UK with these celebrities, if others just came to their support, the toxicity around it would dampen, because it hasn't got as much weight now, because people are standing up and saying, yeah, right, okay, I can't condone what that person's done. It's not, but that's not. I don't know the facts of that, you know. But what I know of this person is this, and then you maybe just can tell a little bit about that person's character and their moral compass, shine some sort of light on this person, you know. And then it puts things into context. But when people just like alienate themselves and distance and go, whoa, I better not be a part of this, it's like, well, ain't you a good friend? You know, didn't we have a great connection? And that's where you find out, honestly, that's where I find out the most about people, because I watch. It's like, whoa, you're quite self-serving, aren't you? So if something doesn't go well, you'll be the first one to go running. I'm aware of this now. And like I say, I adjust my life accordingly anyway. So I'm like, you know what, if I thought highly of this person or that person, it's like, if I'm ever in a situation where I'm at the forefront, I'm not going to align myself with these people, because I know they're the first to go running. You know, I don't care how gifted you are, I don't care how intelligent you are, for me it's all about moral compass. You know, do you have loyalty and integrity? Because like I just said, you don't have to have the same beliefs as someone. It's about having a respect. And if you can understand where that person's coming from, then it's like stand next to them a little bit, you know. Again, don't have to fight their battle for them. Don't have to say everything they said was great. But it's like, stand up for the human that they are, you know. And that's what I'm looking for in my life, you know, in general, because I would do that for someone else. I mean, I'll do it now. I'll do it for strangers. You know, if I find a topic of debate that I don't like, or I think, well, you know, this shouldn't be happening in this world, I'll speak up. I'll speak up, little old me on my own, you know. I'll have my little voice, and take on the world. You know, I don't need someone next to me, but at the same time, it's like, I'll do that for a stranger, but who would do that for me? It's far rarer, isn't it? So you start to realise, wait a minute, there's not that many people out there with integrity. People are self-serving, worry about their reputations. But then what they'll find is they align themselves with others that will do the same to them. So like, who don't expect... It's always like, don't expect... Because like, people that do me wrong, for instance, don't expect me to come running to save you when you're in a situation where you could use my support. You know, weren't there when I needed you. Why should I be there now, you know? And it is. It's for me. It's that. And I wrote this chapter in one of my books, but I think I ended up removing it. Again, it irritates me. It might be in a future book. And it was cowardice. Cowards. It's too much of it, you know. You know, I say I don't expect people to do all the speaking up and standing on the front line, but you just like a little support, especially in the background. It's nice. And like I say, I've had people that stuck by me, in all honesty, that I'm surprised they did, because these people have reputations. They're on good journeys, and sometimes I do say something outspoken, but it always comes from a place of purity and positive intention. I know I say that, and that can seem manipulative. You can take it however way you want. I always talk about the things that I just think are relevant, you know, and I think it's important to shine a light on things. I very rarely call an individual out by name. I'm not like that. I'm not a vengeful person. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. But I think people shouldn't be swayed too much by the opinions of a movement. You know, it's always short-lived. There's always a new headline. There's always a new story. You know, you might go run into the hills and think, I can't align myself with that. The news, it blows over in a few weeks. There'll be someone else to sort of antagonise. And then you've got to look at your own morals, you know, and look at yourself and go, was that a proud moment for me? Do you know what I mean? It's like, just because someone thought something doesn't mean that you're aligned with it. It's just be a friend, be a support. Like I say, too many people are fickle in this world, and they're far too focused on reputation. And I just think I'd rather just have integrity. I'd rather have my reputation built on integrity. I'd rather be that person than a reputation of doing something great but you're a bit flaky.